This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of MSPN Digital Television and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of MSPN Digital Television.
To the broadcast booth for the pregame show on MSPN Digital Television.
All right, welcome back to Game 4 of the Central Plains Regional Tournament. It'll feature the runner-up and host team from North Dakota, the Fargo Post 400 Stars, against the runner-up from South Dakota, the Yankton Post 12. This will be the second time this year that the Stars have been the visitors on their home field. The last time it happened, it was the second half of Game 2 of a doubleheader against the West Fargo Patriots, who they've played 7 times this year. And the two are in this tournament. Will they meet up again? If the Stars can win this game, they are one potential game away from meeting West Fargo for the 8th time this season. But that's getting a little ahead of ourselves. First, they got to take care of business versus Yankton, and I believe we have people from the Yankton radio station listening in too, and if that's the case, we welcome you into the broadcast, and we hope you join the broadcast today. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with your pregame show. We got the opening ceremonies as well as part of this pregame show. Those opening ceremonies are expected to take off here in about 18 minutes. So, like I said, we'll take a break and come back with more of your pregame show and lead you into those opening ceremonies. And then after the opening ceremonies, it will be the first pitch, and we'll go through the lineups and all that good stuff as well. So, thanks again for tuning in. 4,100 people for the first 3 games combined. And that's live. Who knows what the replay numbers will look like. All right, I've said it like 4 times. Let's take a 60-second break here on MSPN Digital Television.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
Welcome back to Starion Bank Field. I want to thank Brad Anderson for helping us out with the last 2 games and giving me a nice break. Between the right before the West Fargo game, I had to go home and get a new pair of shoes and a new pair of socks because, man, I was walking through a little bit of a swamp. And during that West Fargo game, we actually had a frog hopping across the field. I think it was in the 5th inning. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but I know a couple people caught it. I got a couple text messages about it. And so that was kind of interesting because, like I said, it's been pretty swampy here, for lack of better wording, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if some frogs moved in for a little bit here. Final scores from earlier today: Lincoln Southeast defeated Harrisburg 6-0. Shakopee Post 2 defeated Elkhorn North by the final score of 6-1. And then the game that just wrapped up here a little bit ago, the West Fargo Patriots advanced with a 4-0 win over Grand Rapids. So that sets up 2 of the games for tomorrow. 9:30 a.m. tomorrow will be Harrisburg taking on Grand Rapids in an elimination game. And then at 12 noon, Elkhorn will take on the loser of Fargo Post 400 in Yankton. And then at 3:30 p.m., we'll have Lincoln versus the West Fargo Patriots. And then at 6:30 p.m., it'll be Shakopee versus the winner of Fargo Post 400 and Yankton, which is coming up. Scheduled first pitch is 7 p.m. Scheduled opening ceremonies is 6:30. It's now 6:15. And let's go. Most of our North Dakota viewers know about the Fargo Post 400 Stars, so let's dig in and see what Yankton brings to the field today. So in the state championship game, or in the not in the state championship game, but in the South Dakota State tournament, Yankton would pick up, or actually they would fall 8-0 to Harrisburg in the opening game. They would battle back through the losers bracket, picking up a 3-2 win over Pure Legion Post 8 and a 5-4 win over the Renner Royals, a team that Fargo Post 400 has played plenty of times in the last 3 or 4 years. And then they would pick up a 6-1 win over the Post 320 Stars, out of Rapid City. And then they would go to the championship game to get a rematch of their first-round opponent against Harrisburg. And that was a pitcher's duel. There was not a lot of hitting in that particular game there at all. Yankton was able to pull off no runs on 6 hits, and Harrisburg got 2 runs on 8 hits in that state title game down in South Dakota. But the 2 runs scored by Harrison were scored in the bottom of the first inning. And then it was zeros all the way the rest of the way. A couple of hits randomly sprayed out here and there for both Yankton and Harrisburg, but only those 2 runs in the bottom of the first, and they held up for the entire game, and a 2-0 win for Harrisburg. So Yankton comes into the Central Plains Regional as the runner-up. For the Fargo Post 400 Stars, Yankton, by the way, with an overall record of 29-12 coming into today's contest here with Fargo Post 400, who come in with an overall record of 30-16 this year. Breaking down some of the numbers for the Fargo Post 400 Stars, they were 11-4 at home, and they were also a fairly decent 19-12 when playing away from Starion Bank Field. They came in second in conference play in North Dakota while outscoring both their conference and non-conference opponents by the total of 265 runs scored to 209 runs allowed. In conference play, they outscored their conference opponents 104-67. They do come into this game on a 2-game losing streak. Both of those happen to be to the West Fargo Patriots, who had to beat Fargo Post 400 twice in that state championship game to be crowned state champions. So that's the reason for the 2-game losing streak here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. And the Stars are 3-2 in their last 5 outings here. And those last 5 outings were all in the state tournament. So they were 3-2. They were 3-0, and then they lost twice to West Fargo for their games 4 and 5. In the state tournament for the Fargo Post 400 Stars on the North Dakota side, they would have a 5-1 win over the Williston Keybirds in the opening round with the 10-team double elimination format. The 1 seed and the 2 seed gets that bye through the first round of the state tournament. So Williston had to do the play-in game to get a matchup with the Fargo Post 400 Stars, and the Stars would defeat Williston 5-1. And then the next day, it would be the Stars taking on the West Fargo Patriots, and that game was you could almost say that game was a pitching duel as well. The Stars struck first in the bottom of the first. Neither team scored in the second. West Fargo responded with 2 in the top of the third to take a 2-1 lead. That 2-1 lead for the West Fargo Patriots would hold over into the 5th inning when Fargo Post 400 would tie it up at 2-2 in the bottom of the 5th. 2-2 would be our score through the 6th, 7th, 8th, and through the 8th inning. In the top of the 9th, West Fargo would not score, and heading into the bottom of the 9th, Fargo Post 400 would walk off the Patriots by the final score of 3-2. The Stars got 3 runs on 8 hits on 2 West Fargo errors in that game, and then West Fargo had 2 runs and 7 hits on no Post 400 errors in that game. And then after the 3-2 9-inning win with West Fargo, they would get in another extremely long battle with the Mandan Chiefs. This one would go an additional inning, all the way up to 10 innings. So they played 19 innings in 2 games in those second to last and third to last games of that state tournament. Mandan would strike first in the top of the second, and then Fargo Post 400 would respond in the bottom of the third. The game would remain tied 1-1 through the fourth inning when Fargo Post 400 tacked on one more in the bottom of the fifth to take a 2-1 lead. That would stay that way until Mandan tied it up in the top of the seventh to make it a 2-2 game, and that would eventually force extra innings as the Stars would not be able to plate anybody in the bottom half of the seventh. Nothing happened in the eighth. Nothing happened in the ninth. Mandan took a 3-2 lead in the top of the 10th, and the Fargo Post 400 Stars ended up getting back-to-back walk-off wins in the North Dakota State Tournament, getting 2 in the bottom of the 10th to knock off the Mandan Chiefs, who were the ace seed coming into that tournament, and Mandan had a phenomenal run. Nobody expected them to get within one game of the title game, but they certainly proved everybody wrong in North Dakota, and that was a great team to play and a great matchup between the Stars and the Chiefs. So in that game versus Mandan, the Stars had 4 runs on 9 hits on no Mandan errors. The Stars did commit 2 errors in that particular game. After the Mandan Chiefs, they would have a state championship matchup with the West Fargo Patriots and get outscored 10-1. They lost the first game 4-0, as the West Fargo Patriots would score all 3 of their 4 runs in the top of the third, tack on 1 more in the top of the fifth, and that would end up being the final score. West Fargo 4 runs on 11 hits, while the Fargo Post 400 Stars only had no runs on 5 hits and West Fargo error. And then in the second, since West Fargo won, that forced the second championship game, and for the winner-take-all. West Fargo struck first in the top of the second to take a 1-0 lead. The Stars responded in the bottom of the third to tie the game at 1-1, but West Fargo responded right back with 3 runs in the top of the fourth, and at that point it was 4-1 West Fargo. Neither team scored in the fifth. West Fargo tacked 1 more on in the sixth and 1 more on in the seventh to win the state championship game by the final score of 6-1. West Fargo 6 runs on 9 hits on 2 Fargo Post 400 errors. Post 400 1 run on 7 hits on no errors. And the theme here, when you look at the overall record for the Stars, 30-16 is what their win-loss record is coming into this game here against Yankton. The 16 losses, in those 16 losses, in 15 of those 16 losses, the Stars had a combined walk error ratio of 5 or more. If the Stars keep that walk error ratio at 5 or less, they are 28-2 this season. So don't let the 30-16 record fool you here. The Stars are a really good team, and they could certainly do some damage here in the regional tournament as well. It was 4 years ago that Fargo Post 400 lost to the West Fargo Patriots in the state championship game in 2021. And then the Fargo Post 400 Stars would go on a run in the regional tournament, which was played in Sioux Falls, South Dakota that year, and punch their ticket to Shelby on a fly out to center field, plus Andy Mott grand slam to left certainly helped matters in that effort too. And speaking of that 2021 team, in the second inning of play here between the Stars and Yankton, we will be joined in the top half of the second by one of the members of that 2021 Stars team that made the American Legion World Series. And then in the bottom of the second, we'll be joined by another member of that 2021 team. And then our regular color analysis, BJ, will join us in the third for the duration of the game. And so there you go. There's a little bit of a preview as Yankton takes the field now for their infield warm-ups. We'll take a quick break here as we're approximately 6 minutes away from the opening ceremony, so we'll take a 1-minute break, and when we return, we'll have the starting lineups here on MSPN Digital Television. Stay tuned.
Mandy's of Fargo ND is your local online store where you can find something for everyone. Check out multiple items from the carry-all collection. You can also pick out that perfect sign to add to the decor of your family room, kitchen, bedroom, or even your cubicle at work. Be sure to take a peek at the odds and ends, where you will find all the little treasures that are simply too good to miss. Mandy's of Fargo ND accepts multiple forms of safe and secure payment options. Still not sure what to get? How about a gift card? Visit online at mandysoffargond.com today, where you can find something for everyone.
Don't miss a stolen base or home run on the road to Shelby. Catch live broadcasts of all 15 games of the Central Plains Regional Tournament from Starion Bank Field in Fargo right here, exclusively on MSPN Digital Television.
All right, welcome back to Starion Bank Field here as we get ready for Yankton Post 12 and the Fargo Post 400 Stars. Once again, we're about 5 minutes away from the opening ceremony. So while we have an opportunity to do so, let's go over the starting lineups here for this matchup that is scheduled for a 7 p.m. first pitch. Once again, the opening ceremony is expected to be roughly 30 minutes here. And we'll have that for you live here on MSPN Digital Television. Once again, scores from earlier today. Lincoln defeats Harrisburg 6-0. Shakopee defeats Elkhorn 6-1. And West Fargo defeats Grand Rapids 4-0, which brings us to our fourth and final game of day one of the 2025 Central Plains Regional Tournament. All right, it's lineup time. Let's start with the visitors on the scoreboard, which is very unusual considering that this is the first time all season that we have announced the Stars first on their home field, as the batting lineup will look like this. Top of the order, 1, 2, 3. It'll be your starting pitcher, number 1, Matt Bryant. The center fielder, number 3, Kane Mathiasen. The shortstop, number 6, Caleb Christensen. The middle of the order at 4, 5, and 6 is the first baseman, number 19, Gus Wermeyer. The right fielder, number 35, Gus Pankratz. And the second baseman, number 10, Colston Sam. The bottom of the order at 7, 8, and 9. Left fielder number 17, Gunnar Majerus, as the Stars take the field. Batting 8th is the catcher number 5, Caleb Blanchette. And batting 9th is the third baseman number 11, Ashton Renes. On the flip side for the home team on the scoreboard, Yankton Post 12, your 9 batters are going to look like this. 1, 2, and 3 in the top of the order. It's third baseman number 11, Samuel Golke. The first baseman batting second, number 18, Matthew Sheldon. And the batting third is right fielder number 5, Easton Fieser. The middle of the order at 4, 5, and 6 is the catcher number 22, Gavin Johnson. The pitcher number 2, Beck Reichen. And the second baseman number 3, Owen Wishon. The bottom of the order at 7, 8, 9 for Yankton will be a shortstop number 25, Tate Bestie. The center fielder number 1, Evan Sirk. And the left fielder number 6, Carter Boomsma. So those are starting lineups here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars and Yankton Post 12. So we're about 3 minutes away from the opening ceremonies. We will take a break, and this will be a little bit longer break. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back with, I think, those opening ceremonies in about 2 minutes here.
Just off 52nd Avenue South in Prairie Grove is your neighborhood South Fargo spot, Frank's Lounge. Frank's Lounge offers a fun, comfortable atmosphere and daily food specials you can view right as you walk in. Kristen says,
Love Frank's, our go-to place when we have company get-togethers, and always get the best service. We would definitely recommend. We love Frank's Lounge.
Frank's Lounge is open daily, and kids, when accompanied by an adult, are welcome all day, Sunday through Tuesday, and until 3:30 p.m. the rest of the week. Don't forget to take home a Frank's Lounge t-shirt or hat. Frank's Lounge, 2640 52nd Avenue South in Fargo. Stop in tonight.
American Legion Baseball. A winning tradition since 1925. Thousands of young athletes have participated, and countless lives have been changed.
That was the fun part of summer ball and Legion was we just played. At that stage, I think everything's so pure. You're just wanting to play ball. I would 100% recommend it.
Legion Baseball is one of many programs of the American Legion, supporting our children, our military, and their families. Find out more about how we continue to serve America.
All right, welcome back. As the pregame show continues here on MSPN Digital Television, we welcome everybody tuning in, whether you're cheering for the Stars or whether you're cheering for Yankton, or maybe you're a neutral viewer just tuning in for the game to see who your team plays next. Whatever the case may be and wherever you may be watching from, we welcome you into the broadcast here today. Stars finishing up their infield warm-ups here, and as soon as that's done, I believe we'll have the opening ceremony. So just a couple extra minutes here. Once again, you can find us online. You've already found us on YouTube, so you can find us on X at MSPND TV. And thanks to everybody from all the 6 other teams outside of Fargo and West Fargo who have followed us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I'm still getting, even though I think it's been a little over a year now, I still have the habit of calling it Twitter every now and then. But I think we're at like 253 followers like 48 hours ago, and now we just last time I looked, we were at 300 even. So, and I'm pretty sure most of those are fans from the other 6 teams that are not from North Dakota. So thank you so much for giving us a follow. If you haven't followed us yet, you can get the broadcast schedule. And we do the Legion News and Scores, but now that the Legion series is pretty much over, we'll have the Central Plains News and Scores on there, and give you updates on the Twins, Wild, Vikings, all those other cool teams that most people in quotes enjoy here in the North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota area. So that is a look at that. Once again, the Stars continuing to complete their warm-ups. Finals from, once again, Lincoln Southeast defeats Harrisburg 6-0. Elkhorn North fell 6-1 to Shakopee post 2. West Fargo defeats Grand Rapids 4-0. So what we have so far, a 9:30 a.m. elimination game tomorrow between Harrisburg and Grand Rapids, and a 3:30 p.m. winter brackets game between Lincoln and West Fargo. Elkhorn will face the loser of this upcoming contest, and Shakopee will face the winner of this upcoming contest. The Elkhorn game, elimination game, will be at 12 noon tomorrow, and the Shakopee winners bracket game will be at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. Once again, the Stars 30-16 on the year, and for Yankton, they come into this with an overall record of 29-12. The Stars are coached by head coach Don Bryant and his assistants Jeff Fichtner, the pitching coach, and Kevin Pearson, who you'll find most of the time on the first base line when the Stars are batting. For Yankton, their head coach is Drew Lawrence, and he is assisted by Trey Creer and Peyton Mueller. So there you go. There's a little bit more information on Yankton and a little bit more on Fargo Post 400. We'll take another break since the Stars are still doing their warm-ups. We do have the opening ceremonies coming here shortly, so we'll be back in 1 minute here on MSPN Digital Television. Stay tuned.
American Legion Baseball. A winning tradition since 1925. Thousands of young athletes have participated, and countless lives have been changed.
And that was the fun part of summer ball and Legion was we just played. At that stage, I think everything's so pure. You're just wanting to play ball. I would 100% recommend it.
Legion Baseball is one of many programs of the American Legion, supporting our children, our military, and their families. Find out more about how we continue to serve America.
All right, so the Stars have finished their warm-ups here. I have my headset on one ear and my other ear free so I can hear our PA announcer when he gets queued up for the opening announcements for the opening ceremony. We will, which I believe is going to be right about now, turn it over to our PA announcer. And I believe that's Brad Anderson, who did the last 2 games. He's on the PA now. The umpires for today's game. Behind home plate, calling the balls and strikes will be Corey Aldrich. At first base will be Aldo Mora, and at third base will be Tim Higgins. Those are your umpires for Game 4 of the state tournament, or the regional tournament, excuse me. Lincoln, Nebraska, post 500, will be the first team introduced in the opening ceremonies, followed by Harrisburg from South Dakota. Then the third team will be Elkhorn North from Nebraska. The fourth team that'll be introduced is Shakopee from Minnesota. The fifth team that'll be introduced will be Grand Rapids from Minnesota. And then looking at the sheet here, it looks like they skipped over West Fargo. I'm guessing West Fargo would come after Grand Rapids, and then the final. Oh no, it isn't. Okay, there it is. The next team would indeed be West Fargo. So I guessed correctly. I just misread the wording there. And then the next two teams, the two that we'll be playing in tonight's game, Yankton would be introduced next, and then the Fargo Post 400 Stars as the host team would be introduced last in the opening ceremonies. They will also thank the Bat Boys and Bat Girls who are participating in this tournament, helping us out with that, and there's plenty of them to go through. They'll introduce the national staff, then they'll introduce the Central Plains Region umpires, and then they'll do the reading of the American Legion Baseball Code of Sportsmanship. And they'll also have North Dakota Governor Kelly Armstrong throw out the first pitch. I think he's going to say a few words, too. If I remember my talks with other people over the last few days. And then they'll do the national anthem. And it says here that it'll be sung by somebody. They've been playing it so far, but we'll see if that changes or not. So that's a breakdown of how the opening ceremonies are going to go here. All the teams are off the field. It looks like, as I look over at the two dugouts, we got the umpires talking to the umpires and a couple Legion guys talking to Fargo Post 400, which will be in their home dugout on the first base side. And then we had a couple of Central Plains regional workers talking to the Yankton bench. And now the coaches and umpires will meet and exchange lineups and have handshakes. And they're probably in those discussions, they're probably going over the breakdown of the opening ceremonies like I did with you just a moment ago. We've already went through the starting lineups. So since they are doing the lineups here, we're going to take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of three ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, welcome back. Once again, you can find us on X and YouTube at MSPN DTV. Let's see here. Just trying to fill some time. I thought I had enough material to take us up to the Central Plains Regional, but I guess I fell short on the number of materials. So, once again, 4 games tomorrow, and then 3 games on August 8th, 11 a.m., 3:30, and 6:30. The 11 a.m. game will feature the winner of Game 6 versus the loser of Game 7. The 3:30 p.m. game will feature the winner of Game 5 versus the loser of Game 8. And the 6:30 p.m. game will feature the winner of Game 7 versus the winner of Game 8. And then on August 9th, we'll have 2 games. There'll be Games 12 and 13 of the tournament. They'll be played at 11 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. respectively. It'll feature potentially the winner of Game 9 versus the loser of Game 11 and the winner of Game 10 versus the winner of Game 11. And I say potentially because you can put a little asterisk by that. Those opponents coming out of those respective games may change if it results in matching up a previous matchup in the tournament. And the only way they would allow that matchup is if it was absolutely if they were incapable of pairing up a different matchup for games for the 11 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. games on August 9th. And then on August 10th, on Sunday, the 11 a.m. game will be the championship game, and then that'll be the winner of Game 12 versus the winner of Game 13. And then if the winner of Game 13 happens to be, or if the winner of Game 12 happens to be their first loss, and the winner of Game 13 wins that game at 11 o'clock, then it would force a second championship game at 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, August 10th, Games 14 and potentially 15 coming up on Sunday. So today, 4 games. Thursday, 4 games. Friday, 3 games. Saturday, 2 games. And Sunday, 1, maybe 2 games here. So Brad Anderson is out on the field. We'll turn it over now here to him for the opening ceremonies. And having some microphone issues here, so
There we go.
there we go. You maybe
there we go.
gets a little bit closer to the receiver, I
Good
guess.
evening, everyone. Fargo Post 400 of Legion Baseball. I'd like to welcome the 2025 Central Plains National Regional Tournament. First off, a big thanks to everybody that helped out with the rains last night. 24 hours ago, we weren't sure how this is all going to work, but usually the case around here, we make it work around here. That's all right. We'll introduce our teams first off. First to the field is our state champions from Nebraska, Post 500. Got a win today. They're 48-9-1. Let's welcome from Lincoln, Carpetland. Next up, we have the champion, state of South Dakota. Post 45 on the record of 21-21. Let's welcome Harrisburg. Up next, Nebraska, Post 211. 35-21-1. Please say hello to Elkhorn North. Next up is the champion from the state of Minnesota. They got to win this afternoon, 31-5-1. Post 2. Please welcome Shakopee. Next up is the runner-up from the state of Minnesota. Their first trip, long while here to the Central Plains. 19-15, it's Post 60. Please welcome Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Next up, the champions from the state of North Dakota, Post 307, 43-14. It's West Fargo. Our next two teams are playing the finale, our final game here tonight. First, the runners-up from the state of South Dakota, a mark of 29-12. It's Yankton, Post 12. For Yankton, we'll introduce the non-starters first. Number 7, Chase Cooley. Number 9, Boston Frick. Number 12, Francis Infeld. Number 13, Madden McQuaid. Number 19, Mark Cowdell. And number 23, Cohen Zarbach. Starting lineup for Yankton, leading off at third base, number 11, Samuel Goki. Adding second at first base, number 18, Matthew Sheldon. Adding third right field, number 5, Easton Feeser. Adding fourth, the catcher, number 22, Gavin Johnson. Adding fifth and pitching for Yankton, number 2, Beck Rankin. Batting sixth, second baseman number 3, Owen Winshaw. Batting seventh, the shortstop number 25, Tate Bestie. Batting eighth, the center fielder number 1, Evan Sirk. Batting ninth, the left fielder number 6, Carter Boomsma. Post 12 head coach is Drew Lawrence. He's assisted by Trey Creer and Peyton Mueller. Now for the host team, the state runners-up from the great state of North Dakota, 30-16. It's the Fargo Post 400 Stars. First off the reserves, number 2, Colby Hansen. Number 7, Joe Gould. Number 8, Malachi Wermeyer. Number 8, Ethan Dahl. Number 12, Alex Christofferson. Number 13, Jace Byrne. Number 15, Hudson Stein. And number 28, Braden Olson. Here's your batting order for Post 400. Leading off in pitching will be number 1, Matt Bryant. Batting second in center field, number 3, Kane Mathiasen. Batting third in shortstop, number 6, Caleb Christensen. Batting fourth at first base, number 19, Gus Wermeyer. Batting fifth in right field, number 35, Gus Pancraft. Batting sixth at second base, number 10, Colston Senn. Batting seventh in left field, number 17, Gunnar Majerus. Batting eighth in catching, number 5, Caleb Blanchett. And batting ninth will be the third baseman, number 11, Ashton Reedus. Stars are coached by Don Bryan. He's assisted by Kevin Pearson and Jeff Fickner. Next up, we'd like to introduce our Bat Boys and Girls for this Central Plains Region Tournament. They include Jackson O'Lee, Kyler Krabenhoff, Owen Amundsen, Archie Kibler, Hudson Alba, Axton Maholka, Cash Bash, Briar Flayton, Owen Halverson, Jax Purdy, Bennett Hill, Harrison Grader, Teddy Scott, Blake Mudgett, and Jelani Johnson. So next up, we'd like to introduce you to the staff that helped organize and put this tournament together. Our tournament director is Paul Iverson. The assistant director, a familiar face in baseball in Fargo Moorhead, say hello to Jeff Slickmiller. And the Central Plains official regional scorekeeper is Evan O'Kelly. Next up is our umpires. The umpire in chief is Corey Aldrich. And the rest of our umpiring crew, Joe Volpe, Tim Higgins, Eric Guler, and Aldo Mora. To a specialist board. We have a special guest coming up to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. First, let's send things to Paul Iverson as he has a few.
Before this next gentleman comes out here, I would be remiss if I did not, on behalf of the National American Legion Commander, the Chairman of the Americanism Commission, Chairman of the National Baseball Committee, and the Program Manager for National American Legion Baseball, welcome an alum and a member of the North Dakota American Legion Baseball Hall of Fame. So on behalf of the national staff, welcome, Governor.
I'll be quick because nobody really wants to hear from Being the governor of North Dakota is the greatest privilege of my life. The best job I have ever had in my life is being an American Legion baseball coach. The worst job I ever had in my life is being the volunteer president of the baseball club. But lucky for me, if you can deal with these sports parents, you can deal with politicians. Some of the best memories I have as an adult have been on a baseball field. And when you're coaching kids and you're doing a lot of different things, you think you're coaching them for baseball. But I can tell you that there are a lot of things that happen in my life in business and my life in politics that I learned on a ball field. 3 that come to mind in particular are never take a bad at bat into the field. Hustle absolutely never takes a day off. And nobody, and I mean nobody, cares how hard you throw a ball. And those are really good life lessons to learn on the 100th anniversary of American Legion Baseball, which is the greatest sport that has ever been played, that deals with individual accomplishment, team unity, fielding routine ground balls and throwing them to first base. It can win you a lot more state championships than diving up the middle, but those plays are nice too. And I would be remiss if I didn't say it always takes a lot of work to put one of these tournaments on. I have done that. It takes an exceptional amount of work to put these tournaments on when you had a monsoon the night before. There are a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort to make the teams here to have as good a baseball as possible. And really proud of the city of Fargo, really proud of North Dakota American Legion Baseball, proud of all the teams and players that are here. So congratulations. We're going to do the American Legion Sportsmanship Code. I will keep the rules. Keep faith with my teammates. Keep my temper. Keep myself fit. Keep a stout heart in defeat. Keep my pride under in victory. Keep my sound soul, clean mind, and a healthy body. Good luck, players.
Thank you, Governor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stand and remove your hats for the presentation of the colors by the Public Schools Air Force Junior ROTC under the direction of Chief Master Sergeant James Gibson. The color guard team is commanded by Cadet Xander Huso and accompanied by Cadet Emmeline Guayon, Mackenzie Moyladen, Christian Igrabutu, Cadet Emma Guayon, and Cadet Tian Nguyen. Please remain standing and hold your applause until the color guard has left the field. week, everyone. Final game to play. Post 400 in Yankton coming up here in a moment.
All right, thank you so much for joining us for the opening ceremonies. We'll take a break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes with the final game of day one of the 2025 Central Plains Regional Tournament. Back in 2 minutes here on MSPN Digital Television.
Doolittle's Wood-Fired Grill is an experience that ignites your senses, featuring wood-fired rotisserie cooking. Grilling meat over an open flame creates that savory wood-roasted flavor, while the rotisserie rotation results in juicy and succulent meats. Doolittle's even has an outdoor fire pit that creates a relaxing setting to wine and dine for any occasion. Visit DoolittlesRestaurants.com for a full menu or to make a reservation. Doolittle's Wood-Fire Grill, 2112 25th Street South in Fargo, or call ahead at 701-478-2200.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burnt.
That's it. You're not gonna come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
You gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Sweet Shots is Fargo's premier golf entertainment destination. Sweet Shots will host your birthday, bachelorette party, corporate events, date nights, or a night out with friends and family. Need help with your golf game? Visit with one of Sweet Shots' PGA teaching pros. Hungry? They have a full food and beverage menu too. Try your shot in one of 60 climate control hitting suites or one of 5 indoor full swing simulators that include golf, hockey, hunting, football, soccer, and zombie dodgeball. Make the trip to 3400 James Way South in Fargo or visit sweetshots.com for much more.
Make your home your retreat. Fill your favorite spaces with fresh air, warm sunlight, and calming connections with the outdoors. Marvin Windows and Doors are designed to promote happier, healthier spaces in your home. At D&M Industries, we will walk you through how the beauty, thoughtful design features, and unparalleled performance of Marvin products can help you feel better in your home. Visit our D&M Industries showroom in Moorhead today.
TCI Insurance was founded in 1985 with a simple mission in mind: to protect your assets. TCI Insurance has a long history of providing insurance coverage and loss prevention solutions to the region and strives to exceed your expectations. From agriculture, business, and personal insurance, our advisors are here to help walk you through the options and equip you with the knowledge you need to choose the coverage that will best suit your current stage of life. TCI Insurance. Call 701-277-1710 or visit them at the offices in West Fargo and Wimbledon. Learn more today at tciteam.com.
All right, welcome back. We're ready to go, and the first pitch of Game 4 comes at 7 p.m. on the dot when this game was supposed to start. We got almost a 2-hour delay, and somehow we caught up to Game 4 starting exactly when it was supposed to start. How about that? Matt Bryant is the leadoff batter here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. The guy on the mound here for Yankton is Beck Reichen. He's tossing him into the glove of Gavin Johnson, playing catcher behind the plate. We'll go around the bases here after this 3-0 pitch. And Matt Bryant will be walked on 3 pitches.
Batting second, number 3, center fielder Kane Mathiasen.
Kane Mathiasen, the batter, will still go around the bases here for Yankton here, and the pitch is in for a strike. 0-1 here to Kane Mathiasen. He is one of 5 players this season to hit a home run for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. Matthew Sheldon for Yankton at first base. Owen Wishon at second. Tate Bestie to shortstop. Samuel Golke at third. That pitch will miss for a ball. It's 1-1 now here to Kane Mathiasen, the batter for the Stars. In the outfield for Yankton Post 12, it's Carter Boomsma in left, Easton Furzer in right, and Evan Sirk in center field. 1 ball, 1 strike now here to Kane Mathiasen. That pitch will be called a high strike on the very edge. 1-2. Second time this season the Stars have played as the visitor on the scoreboard on their home team here, on their home field here, at Starion Bank Field. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reichen with the pitch, and that is a ground ball out towards third. Goki will pick it up. He'll fire it across the diamond to Sheldon for the 5-3 ground out, and that will advance Matt Bryant to second base, and that's one gone and a runner in scoring position now here on the what you could potentially call a sacrifice ground out, although it's just a regular ground out at a 5-3. Caleb Christensen, the batter now. He'll step up to the plate. Caleb Christensen is 12 for 32 this season. And a balk is called, and that will advance Matt Bryant to third. Still no pitch. Now here comes the pitch, and that will come in for a strike. That was a nice looking slider there, it looked like, from Beck Reichen. 0-1. And the Stars have the potential first run of the game 90 feet away. And the 0-1, and that one's hit out into right center field, and no one's going to catch up to it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Matt Bryant's going to come in from third, and the Stars take a 1-0 lead. It's an RBI double for Caleb Christensen into the gap in right center field, and the first run of the game is scored 3 minutes in. Gus Wermeyer steps up to the plate now here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. One run on one hit now. And strike one called. Once again, starting the second inning here, we'll have two members of the 2021 Fargo Post 400 Stars team that went to the American Legion World Series in Shelby after winning the Central Plains Regional down in Sioux Falls, South Dakota in 2021. This one a high pop-up going in towards shallow center field, and it looks like the catch is going to be made there by Evan Sirk, and it is, and that puts out number 2 onto the board.
Batting fifth, number 35, right fielder Gus Pancraft.
So chit-chat with one of those 2021 team members. Whoops, our camera, that was thankfully not live. Decided to take a look up high at the clouds. And strike one to Gus Pancraft. So the fly out to second. Keeps Caleb Christensen on second base, and Gus Pancraft is the batter facing no balls and a strike now, and now you can make that no balls and 2 strikes. And then the third inning, we'll have our normal color commentary guy, BJ, coming into, that one is going to right field, and it is eventually going to go foul too. Had that stayed fair, it'd be a 3-0 game, as that one was heading out of the park. Once again, we want to thank you for tuning into the broadcast. Whether you're cheering on Yankton Post 12 or the Fargo Post 400 Stars, we wish your team the best of luck here in this Game 1. The winner of this game will take on Shakopee at 6:30 tomorrow night. The other team will take on Elkhorn in an elimination game at 12 noon tomorrow. 0-2 pitch is outside for a ball. It's 1-2 now here to Gus Pancraft. Colston Sen is the batter on deck potentially if Pancraft can find a way to get on base. 1-0 Stars here on one hit, no errors for Yankton. Couple peeks back at Christensen on second. Now the pitch will come in for strike 3, and that will strand Christensen on second base, and that'll be the third out of the inning. He goes down looking. We'll see Samuel Golke, Matthew Sheldon, and Easton Furzer as your first 3 batters, facing off against Matt Bryant, your starting pitcher for the Stars, when we return in 60 seconds here on MSPN Digital Television.
Mandy's of Fargo, ND is your local online store where you can find something for everyone. Check out multiple items from the carry-all collection. You can also pick out that perfect sign to add to the decor of your family room, kitchen, bedroom, or even your cubicle at work. Be sure to take a peek at the odds and ends, where you will find all the little treasures that are simply too good to miss. Mandy's of Fargo, ND accepts multiple forms of safe and secure payment options. Still not sure what to get? How about a gift card? Visit online at mandysoffargond.com today, where you can find something for everyone.
All right, welcome back. 1-0 Fargo Post 400 on the mandysoffargond.com scoreboard. And coming up for Yankton will be Samuel Golke. We'll see Matt Sheldon and Easton Furzer this inning as well. Matt Bryant, your starting pitcher, tossing him into the glove of catcher Caleb Blanchette. Around the bases for the Fargo Post 400 Stars, you have Gus Wermeyer at first, Colston Sen at second, Caleb Christensen the shortstop, Ashton Renas at third. In the outfield, it's Gunnar Jarris in left field, Kane Mathiasen in center field, and Gus Pankratz in right field. Top half of the first inning took 5 minutes to play. And now here's Samuel Golke stepping into the batter's box. The windup from Bryant. He'll deliver and caught on the edge for strike one. 0-1 here to Samuel Golke. And the 0-1 delivery from Bryant. And that will be in about the same spot as the strike, but missed a little bit more to the outside to even up the count at a ball and strike. 1-1 the count now here. And come set, wind, and deliver the 1-1, and he'll check, swing, and hold back, and that'll be ball number 2 here to Samuel Golke. Once again, Matt Sheldon is on deck here for Yankton Post 12. And the 2-1 pitch, and that one's going to be fouled up and pushed to the right side of home plate and out of play, 2-1. Yankton fell short in the state championship game against Harrisburg. Harrisburg scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first, and that was the only scoring in the entire game. Here is a line, pop fly out to, and we'll see how they charge that. I'm going to guess it was an error. It looked like Kane Mathiasen and Gunnar Majerus did not communicate, and as a result, one or the other caused the other one to drop that fly ball to left field. They're going to put it into the books as a hit. So we will give Samuel Golke a hit. They must have saw something different than I did on that play there. So the first hit of the game here for Matthew Sheldon. Samuel Golke makes it to second base as a result of that play. And the first pitch from Matt Bryant to the Matt Sheldon. So it's the battle of the Matts here. And right now, Mr. Bryant is up 0-1 on Mr. Sheldon here in the count. He'll peek back at second base, check the runner, Golke, and deliver. And that pitch is going to be a little bit low, and we'll be at 1 ball and 1 strike now here to Matthew Sheldon. So the count is even. Easton Furzer for Yankton Post 12 is in the on-deck circle here. Nobody out, runner on second, and the pitch. And this is a fly ball to center field, and will it drop for a hit? It will go all the way, almost all the way to the fence. Rounding third comes Samuel Golke. He scores, and we have a tie ball game. It's an RBI double from Matthew Sheldon into the deep right center field, closer to center than right center, but still in that general area. And we have a 1-1 ball game now with nobody out and a go-ahead run. Matthew Sheldon standing in scoring position on second base for Easton Fieser, according to the pronunciation sheet. And there's a strike. 0-1. Bryant winds up, delivers 0-1, caught on the outside edge of the plate for strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes now here to Easton Fieser. So Matt Sheldon won the battles of the Mats the first time around with an RBI double. This is a ground ball that'll sneak by the shortstop, Caleb Christensen. Matthew Sheldon will put on the brakes at third, and runners on the corners here for Yankton. On another base hit into shallow left center field. Matt Sheldon moves to third. Furzer on first, runners on the corners for Gavin Johnson, the batter now here for Yankton post 12. 1 run on 3 hits now for Yankton here in the bottom half of the first inning. A check on the runner at first from Bryant. He'll come set, wind, and deliver. And that's a high fly ball into left field. And Pankratz will watch it go foul. So that'll result in about a 280-foot strike. And it's 0-1. Swing and a miss. He went a little bit early on that swing there. Johnson did, so he falls down on the count 0-2. And the Stars looking to pick up that all-important first out here with a tie ball game and a potential go-ahead run standing on third. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, a bouncing ball out towards third. They'll fire home, and the tag is applied, and he's out. So Gavin Johnson will reach on a fielder's choice. That'll put runners on first and second here for Yankton post 12. And that'll bring up Beck Reichen. It'll be the pitcher versus pitcher battle now here. One-two on the throw out on Sheldon at home as he's tagged out. And you have runners on first and second as a result, and that first pitch comes in for a strike against Beck Reichen. Once again, it's the pitcher versus pitcher battle between Matt Bryant, the pitcher, and Beck Reichen, the batter. Nothing in one as Bryant comes set, checks the runner on second on a couple of occasions and delivers. And that one just missed to the outside, and it's ball 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike now here to Beck Reichen. Owen Wishon is on deck here with 1 away. If no double plays happen, we'll see him next. And the 1-1. That one's in for strike 2. Right down Main Street there from Matt Bryant. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Beck Reichen. 1 away, runners on first and second for Yankton in a 1-1 ball game. 4 hits in the game. 3 of those hits belong to the bats of Yankton post 12. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way. That one's popped up, fouled away first base side, and they will run out of real estate to try and make a play on that one. And we'll just do it all over again at 1-2. Stars 30-16 coming into this matchup. Yankton 29-12 coming into the contest here. Winner of this will play Shakopee at 6:30 tomorrow night. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 away in the 1-2 pitch. And that one's fouled back, and we'll do the 1-2 over for a second time. Strike, ball, strike, fouled away in that order. So it'll be pitch number 6 of the plate appearance here for Beck Reichen in the pitcher versus pitcher battle. And the 1-2 for the 3rd time. Swing and a miss, and he got him. That's out number 2. Now bring up Owen Wishon.
Batting 6th, number 3, second baseman Sean.
2 away now here in the bottom of the first. Easton Fieser on second base, Gavin Johnson on first. The runners on for Yankton post 12 in a 1-1 ball game here on the Mandy's of FargoND.com scoreboard. And now a snap throw up to first, and he's back in time. And the pitch came across as a ball. It's 1-0. So 1 ball, no strike. Bryant comes set, and he'll wind and deliver the 1-0. And this one is a fly ball into left center field. Can they hustle there and get there? He can. Center fielder Kane Mathiasen makes the catch on a running, and he had to sprint after that one, and he did so successfully. So they will leave 2 stranded on base, Yankton will, but they do get 1 across on 3 hits in the bottom half of the first inning. We have a 1-1 ball game between Fargo Post 400 and Yankton Post 12, and we'll be back with more here on MSPN Digital Television in just 1 minute.
Just off 52nd Avenue South in Prairie Grove is your neighborhood South Fargo spot, Frank's Lounge. Frank's Lounge offers a fun, comfortable atmosphere and daily food specials you can view right as you walk in. Kristen says,
Love Frank's, our go-to place when we have company get-togethers, and always get the best service. We would definitely recommend. We love Frank's Lounge.
Frank's Lounge is open daily and kids, when accompanied by an adult, are welcome all day, Sunday through Tuesday, and until 3:30 p.m. the rest of the week. Don't forget to take home a Frank's Lounge t-shirt or hat. Frank's Lounge, 2640 52nd Avenue South in Fargo. Stop in tonight.
All right, welcome back. 1-1 ball game here between the Stars and Yankton post 12. Top of the second, joined by special guest Colton Almy of the 2021 Fargo Post 400 Stars team. Colton, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's
Great day.
awesome. Awesome having you coming up here. We got a late start. Somehow we got this game on time. How'd you feel about the first three games today?
It was a bunch of great baseball. Despite starting late, we threw strikes, quality games throughout, and quick games, and that's why we're able to get back on track.
Yeah, it works out perfectly. Colston Sen will be the leadoff batter, and I believe his older brother Kobe played with you on that 2021 team.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes. And Chayton was also on that team. He was a younger guy, but it was a great experience for him, and yeah.
Pitch to Sen will be in for strike one.
Baseball runs in the Sen family.
It runs in a few families here for Fargo Post 400, doesn't it? 0-1 here to Colston Sen. Here's the windup and the delivery, and that one is going to be a hair high for ball one.
That is a good eye.
You've had some experience playing in regional tournaments. What are your thoughts on what the Stars have to do here to get through this tournament the way you guys did in 2021?
I think the first couple innings are huge. You got to settle the nerves. Even at a familiar ballpark, just the grandeur of all of this is, it's going to play a factor for a couple innings, but then at the end of the day, it's still baseball. And
go ahead.
And the fact that they kind of neutralized that Yankton bottom of the first rally there with only one run, that's big. And they got a 0-0 ball game, 6 innings to play, and yeah.
In 2021, I believe you defeated Hopkins by the final score of 1-0. How nervous were you when that one run was scored? I believe it was in the third inning, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, and it was on a rollover ground out by me. There wasn't too many nerves, at that point. We didn't really expect to be there. Yeah, we were 21 and 25, and we were just, whatever happens, happens. And I think that loosened us up. We played freely and we played mistake-free, and that's the biggest part.
Colston Sen with a fly out to Evan Sirk in center field for out number one. That brings Gunnar Majerus to the plate here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars with one away, nobody on. And the pitch. And that one's fouled back for strike number one.
Mike, I think whoever's going to win this game, it's going to come down to limiting walks and limiting errors. You've been kind of harping on that, all season, limiting the walks, limiting the errors, and it's just when that ball was crushed out to center, he's turning. That was going to get over his. Oh, what a catch!
Oh, that was a fantastic catch. Evan Sirk turning around, running backwards, a little bit of backpedaling there, and he's responsible for outs 1 and 2 with fly outs to center on back-to-back batters.
Yeah, that's great hit mobility. I bet you he was a safety in high school football.
Very possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that certainly reminds me of how a safety would run in football, defending that wide receiver. That's absolutely right. Good eye on that one there. That pitch will miss outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. I was gonna say it was Caleb Blanchette batting, by the way. I was gonna say something, then that fly ball to center, I forgot what I was going to say. 1 ball and 1 strike now here to Caleb Blanchette. You had you kind of had a little bit of a roller coaster ride through that 2021 Central Plains Regional. You had the 1-0 game against Hopkins that we just talked about, and then you had that game against Sioux Falls that I think went to 10 innings over 2 days.
Yeah, it was something like that. And super, rainy conditions. It rained all night, kind of like it did here, but we didn't have turf, and the infield really felt it even the day after. But yeah, that was a great game.
2-2 pitch to Caleb Blanchette. He swings and misses and strikes out, and that ends the top half of the second inning of play. Once again, thanks to Colton Naomi for joining us in the top of the second. We'll talk to another, I almost said Twins player, but a Stars player in the bottom of the second. Colton, any final thoughts before we go to commercial break?
No, that was a quick inning. It felt like it was only 6-7 minutes. It's really quick.
Yeah, it did feel really quick. All right, we'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Doolittle's Wood-Fire Grill is an experience that ignites your senses, featuring wood-fired rotisserie cooking. Grilling meat over an open flame creates that savory wood-roasted flavor, while the rotisserie rotation results in juicy and succulent meats. Doolittle's even has an outdoor fire pit that creates a relaxing setting to wine and dine for any occasion. Visit DoolittlesRestaurants.com for a full menu or to make a reservation. Doolittle's Wood-Fire Grill, 2112 25th Street South in Fargo, or call ahead at 701-478-2200.
All right, welcome back. We move to the bottom of the second. And full disclaimer, we have Jake Bryant joining us, older brother of the pitcher on the mound for the Stars. So be calm. And
Well, Mike, I just want to say thanks for having me. I'll do my best. Probably ignore the game, put it out for now, and hopefully he can do his job on the mound.
That's right. So if a ball's a strike and you don't agree with it, I know you'll keep it cool.
I'll keep it in my head, not out of voice.
1-1 ball game here as we move to the bottom half of the second inning. And the pitch, and that's a line drive shot right into the glove of Caleb Christensen at shortstop. And that's one out. And we were talking in the commercial break there that Colton Alme maybe got a little bit, a short inning there. By the starts of this, you might get the same amount of
with
time.
With how he pitches, that's what you expect, right? I mean, you got a great play there by Caleb Christensen at shortstop, and that's just how he pitches. He's quick pitch, and you go from there.
1 ball, no strike here to Tate Bestie, the batter for Yankton, post 12, and that one's right down Main Street by Matt Bryant, and now evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I think you were on the mound for one of those regional games in 2021. You had a hit ball come right back at you. Here's a ground out to third, and a 5-3 will put out number 2 on the board. So since we're down to the Yankton's final out, tell me about that particular play.
Well, you're going to have to get Colton back on here because that was actually Colton.
Oh.
And I think,
you're right.
He's doing all right now. I mean, he seemed like he was fine in that interview. But I think he's surviving now.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll bring Colton back into the mix here soon. Because I was eventually going to get to that question, but obviously I didn't have enough time. 1 ball, no strike here to the batter, Evan Sirk, after the ground out by Tate Bestie.
Well, Mike, we can never have enough time with you. I mean, it just seems like it goes by too fast. But what I've always been told is time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely. You know what? I think we're going to keep you on for a 3rd inning. Are you both cool with that?
We'll be here.
Okay, and then we'll have BJ join us in the 4th inning. Just because I feel like you haven't had enough time to chit-chat with us.
Absolutely.
Swing and a miss for a strikeout, and that ends the inning. So I think that's fair. I think you both got equal amount of time.
And
right?
That's Matt Bryant for you. He works quick, and he just gets the job done for the Stars.
After 2 complete, it's a 1-1 ball game here on the Mandy's and FargoND.com scoreboard. More with Colton Alme and Jake Bryant when we return in 1 minute here on MSPN Digital Television.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burnt.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Sweet Shots is Fargo's premier golf entertainment destination. Sweet Shots will host your birthday, bachelorette party, corporate events, date nights, or a night out with friends and family. Need help with your golf game? Visit with one of Sweet Shots' PGA teaching pros. Hungry? They have a full food and beverage menu too. Try your shot in one of 60 climate-controlled hitting suites or one of 5 indoor full-swing simulators that include golf, hockey, hunting, football, soccer, and zombie dodgeball. Make the trip to 3400 James Way South in Fargo or visit sweetshots.com for much more. All right, welcome back. We move to the top of the third here.
And I'm back.
And we're back with Colton Almy.
Hello, and I looked at the comment section. It looks like the center fielder was the running back. You also need good hips for that. So
yeah, definitely. 1 ball, 1 strike here to the batter. Let's see. Ashton Renas. And BJ's with us now, too, so he'll join us in the 4th inning since Colton and Jake got like 10 seconds in each half of the 2nd inning there. Fouled away for a strike. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now here to Ashton Renas. And the pitch is going to be fouled away again. So, you know, you've pitched for the Stars. We saw one that came a line drive shot pass to the shortstop, Caleb Christensen, in that last inning there. What's the biggest fear of pitching when those balls come right back at you?
Well, that ball was crushed into the right center gap. That's going to get down. Looks like he's going to stretch it out to second for a double. To answer your question, it's taking one right back up. All those line drives right back up the middle. You always fear for your life, especially when you're not that good of a pitcher like I was, and they crush the ball off you. So yeah, I think you were bringing something up to Jake.
Yeah, right. So the Andy Mock hit the grand slam to left, and then that next inning, the fly ball went to center field for out 3. While that ball was in the air before he caught it, what was going through your mind?
Please catch it. I'm in a lot of pain. But it was, wow, this is really happening. It was. I kind of blacked out a little bit. But I saw the catch being made in center, and then all of a sudden I see Andy and Eli Mock coming from 1st and 3rd, and I'm getting trucked. Just like center fielder or the running back, I had to break a couple tackles, but I eventually got put on the ground. That was a bunt down, smart play there to let it go foul.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a backspin there and rolled foul eventually. They'll move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike to Matt Bryant, who, well, at least you're on when he's at bat. Yeah. That makes it neutral, right?
That's right, yeah.
Matter of fact, you got a picture on the wall there of that 2021 team. When you see that picture, what comes to mind?
Just that entire month, really. It was definitely an up and down season, and we clicked at the right time, and that's really what's important. And we played a lot of mistake-free ball. We had a ton of fun, and yeah, it was culminated to a lot of success.
That one's a fly ball to left center field, and it is caught there by the left fielder, Carter Boomsma. And that is good for out number 1.
Center fielder number 3, Kane Mathiasen.
I'll bring up Kane Mathiasen now. Mathiasen, the 2-batter in the lineup here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. As you were mentioning, Colton, it was a kind of a roller coaster season. I don't think a lot of teams expected you as the 7th seed in that state tournament to make it to the state championship game, yet alone direct ground out to first here for out number 2 for Kane Mathiasen. Yet alone play absolutely phenomenal in that regional tournament and then make it to Shelby. So when you made it to Shelby, your first opponent was Hawaii. What was the atmosphere? What were the nerves like going into that game?
It was an unbelievable atmosphere. The stadium there in Shelby, every day, no matter who was playing, was packed. We were going in as the 25 and 23 Post 400 Stars, and we were playing the 47 and 2 Hawaii team. That was a little intimidating, but it was a ton of fun. It was that whole experience. Win or lose, they just put on such a great show. And yeah, it's whoever comes out of the Central Plains tournament is going to have an awesome week there.
Caleb Christensen is the batter. He's down 0-2 in the count right now.
Have another quick inning here, Mike.
It could be. And standing on third is Ashton Renas. We'll see if Caleb Christensen can duplicate his last trip to the plate when he doubled out into right center field.
You know what we could go for?
What's that?
A diamond cutter.
A diamond cutter right up the middle. And, that will be maybe a 5-6 cutter. I think he's going to run that out. It's going to be an RBI infield single. At least that's how I would score it, and that's how they're going to score it.
First baseman number 19, Gus Warmeyer.
Yeah, he hit that deep in the hole. It was an excellent play by the shortstop, but you're not going to get a lot of guys on that.
Yeah, the shortstop kind of had to backhand that throw over to first, and with Christensen's speed, that he's not going to get thrown out 8 times out of 10 on that scenario there.
I would say 99 times out of 100.
99 out of 100, we'll take it.
And that one time you just slipped on the turf.
Gus Wiermeyer just got hit by a pitch. So now runners on first and second. And, you know, you're seeing what's happening right now. They're loading the bases with 2 outs. Yeah. That's a thing that your 2021 team did a lot in 2021 as well. A lot of 2-out baseball. You scored 74.8% of your runs with
true?
2 outs.
Who came up with that stat?
It was our MSPN analytics department. That one will get into left field. Rounding third is Caleb Christensen. He will score. Heading into third is Gus Wiermeyer. And Gus Pankratz on second. Go ahead.
Well, to what you were saying, you know, the MSPN analytics department, Fargo and Phoenix division. I'm not sure if that stat is entirely correct, but you know, two-out hitting is huge. There's something to, you know, starting a rally with 2 outs that, you know, kills a little bit of momentum for the other team. You know, you're like, oh, we're about to get out of this inning, and then all of a sudden they put up some runs. And yeah, you need support from all 1 through 9 of the lineup, and you know, as we go deep in innings, it takes the entire team to put up some runs there.
Colston Sen is the batter. 2 balls and no strikes here to Colston Sen. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. 2 runners in scoring position here for the Stars, and now we have our first visit to the mound here for Yankton.
Time to talk, Mike.
Yes, it will. So what do you want to talk about now?
Well, let's talk about the analytics department.
Yes, let's do that. So we got, at the beginning of the season, we got some strange comments on our chat box for the MSPN analytics department. 1 in Phoenix, one in Fargo. And what do you know about one or both of those?
Well, I know that the guys you're interviewing here may or may not be the department heads. But we couldn't do it alone. I know Jake will say the same. We have a lot of help providing these stats on just, you know, baseball stats, numbers, random numbers. I think we had a stat on number of blades of grass in the outfield.
Yeah, at the state tournament.
Yeah,
it was like 1.1 or 2.1 billion blades of grass were damaged or something like that.
And we want to, we didn't come up with that ourselves. We want to thank ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot for helping us out.
Nice.
We couldn't do that without them.
I was wondering how you came up with all those stats.
Rock. Yep.
So, you know, we never revealed the identity of that. And so are you saying that you're one of those divisions, Colton?
Yeah. I'm proudly the owner of the MSPN Analytics Fargo division. So if you see me in the chat, that's me.
All right. Well, it took until the regional tournament to reveal the identity of our analytics department, but now we know 50% of that analytics department, and Colton's responsible for the Fargo division. So there you go. High fly ball. This is Gunnar Majerus to right field, and that will be caught for the 3rd out. So they'll strand 2 runners on base, and we go now to the bottom of the 3rd with Yankton coming to bat. We'll be joined by Jake Bryant, and then we'll wrap things up with our guest co-host here as the Stars take a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 3rd here on the Mandy's.
It was an absolute blast. Thank you for having me.
You bet, man. No problem. You're welcome up here anytime. Always glad to have you. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on MSPN Digital Television.
Make your home your retreat. Fill your favorite spaces with fresh air, warm sunlight, and calming connections with the outdoors. Marvin Windows and Doors are designed to promote happier, healthier spaces in your home. At D&M Industries, we will walk you through how the beauty, thoughtful design features, and unparalleled performance of Marvin products can help you feel better in your home. Visit our D&M Industries showroom in Moorhead today.
All right, welcome back. Bottom of the 3rd on the Mandy's of Fargo and D.com scoreboard. It's the Fargo Post 400 Stars 3 and Yankton Post 12 1. Our final half inning of a guest appearance, we're rejoined by Jake Bryant. Remember the 2021 All-Star, maybe you could argue for an All-Star team, but the Stars team. And, you know, I asked Colton earlier about that game against Hawaii, And tell me your thoughts on the game against Hawaii at the American Legion World Series.
Well, although I wasn't on the team or wasn't there, I know that was a great team. I mean, going into the World Series, they were 27, 27, and 2. And they were playing a Hawaii team who was undefeated on the season at 39-0.
Mm-hmm.
And just to go into that game at 500 versus an undefeated team, it's a great atmosphere to start off. You're the underdogs to go into that game right away.
Yep. 1-1 to Samuel Golke. Go ahead.
And they just played amazing at regionals. You know, they came up just a bit short, but they made it there, and that's what matters most.
Absolutely. I think, I was down at that tournament too, and I think it came down to tiebreakers on if Hawaii would advance, and they were actually sitting on the side of the field cheering for you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they were right there cheering for Fargo. You would never think people from Hawaii would be cheering on Fargo just to advance in the World Series.
A 1-3 ground out for Golke will put the first out on the board, and that'll bring up Matthew Sheldon 1-for-1 with a double to right center field on his last at bat. So we talked a little bit about the World Series. How about just like Fargo baseball in general? What are your thoughts on where things are looking right now for the area teams and even the younger kids that are playing youth baseball right now?
To make Post 400 go to the World Series that year, I think it was their 5th year of being a Legion program, is unbelievable as a team. I think it was less than 5 years actually, but that really puts you on the map as a Legion program, and you really have to thank Fargo youth baseball in general and what they're doing. And other cities are really taking off on what Fargo youth baseball is doing. Even in Moorhead, you got your executive director, Skylar Strand, in Moorhead, really following and piggybacking off of Fargo youth baseball to try to build up Moorhead baseball. And you really have to take that into consideration, and that just goes to show how great Fargo is.
2-2 to Matthew Sheldon. Speaking of Fargo, the Fargo team defeated Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and they're 1 win away from Williamsport, the Little League World Series.
And Hans Anderson is the coach of that team. I had the pleasure of playing for him, and what a great guy he is. I mean, he's got what it takes to lead that team to Williamsport.
3 balls and 2 strikes on a payoff pitch here from Matt Bryant, and he will walk Matthew Sheldon, and that will put Easton Fieser to the plate. He was 1-for-1 on a ground ball single that just snuck by Caleb Christensen last time he was at the plate.
Looking for a double play ball here, Mike. Something maybe hit to second baseman Colston Sen. Turn it 2 up the middle and get out of this inning.
Here's the pitch from Bryant, and a ground ball there to the position player. Nice grab there by Gus Wiermeyer. He'll step on the bag for out number 2. It does advance Sheldon to second base, but you get that second out.
That's some quick reflexes there by Gus Wiermeyer at first base.
Even a split second later decision, and that ball's in right field. So very excellent play there by Gus Wiermeyer at first. And of course, Gus, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe plays football for Fargo Davies, and he's a pretty good football player too.
And you have to think that's where his reaction time comes from, and being on that O-line and just quick reactions. That's where it comes from, and that's what makes him a great first baseman for the Post 400 Stars.
Fouled away by Fieser for strike 1, so 0-1 now here to Fieser. Once again, the runner on second is Matthew Sheldon. 3-1 ball game here. There's Matt Bryant with a pitch and a high fly ball to right center field. And it looks like Gus Pankratz will be underneath that, and that'll be out number 3.
He got out of that jam. That's a great way to go.
All right, well, Colton, Jake, thanks for joining us here, and glad we could get a couple innings to chit-chat with you.
Mike, thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet. No problem. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more baseball here on MSPN Digital Television.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information or to get answers to your questions about
TCI Insurance was founded in 1985 with a simple mission in mind: to protect your assets. TCI Insurance has a long history of providing insurance coverage and loss prevention solutions to the region and strives to exceed your expectations. From agriculture, business, and personal insurance Our advisors are here to help walk you through the options and equip you with the knowledge you need to choose the coverage that will best suit your current stage of life. TCI Insurance. Call 701-277-1710 or visit them at the offices in West Fargo and Wimbledon. Learn more today at tciteam.com.
All right, welcome back. Central Plains Regional Tournament. It's game 4 of 4 of day 1. Earlier scores had Lincoln defeating Harrisburg 6-0, Elkhorn falling to Shakopee Post 2 by the score of 6-1, and West Fargo defeating Grand Rapids 4-0. A big thank you to the 2 members of the 2021 Fargo Post 400 Stars American Legion World Series team, Colton Almy and Jake Bryant. Well, Jake was there, but it's always good to have those guys and reminisce on those memories. BJ, you were up here listening during the 3rd inning there. Did that bring anything back for you?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's when kind of we were like, hey, let's do Post 400, and Caleb saw them play in the World Series, and he, he's got some buddies that are older than him playing on the team now, and now he's teammates with them. So that's, yeah, of course, it has a lot to do with it. And
Blanchette with a low fly out to Matt Sheldon, the first baseman for.
Yeah, he's got to get in the weight room, Mike.
Yeah, that would help out for sure. So out number 1 is recorded here on the low fly out to the first baseman by Caleb Blanchette, and that will bring up the next batter here, Ashton Renas, 1 for 1 with a double that scored a run in the first inning, or the first inning here in the top of the first for Fargo Post 400. I'm still getting used to the fact that they're the visiting team on the scoreboard after calling 45 games of them being the home team.
Yeah, it's been a lot of games this year, Mike. And,
yeah.
We're standing up here in the Magic Mike booth and watching them play, and they're the visitors. So it confused anybody, I think.
2-1 the count now here to Ashton Renas. Beck Reichen still on the mound here for Yankton Post 12, and we thank you to the viewers for bearing with us through those innings there where we didn't talk a whole lot about what was going on the field. 2 balls and 2 strikes. BJ has joined me for many games this season. He's a regular here on MSPN Digital Television, and he's always done a great job, and looking forward to another broadcast with BJ here. This one's going to be popped straight up, and it will go out of play. And it dropped right in front of our press box. I believe a fan caught it. Nice job.
Well, I'm happy to be here, Mike. After 1-1 after the inning that Jake and Almy did. I got up here in the booth for the 3rd inning, and they needed 1 extra because it was so short. And
yeah.
I'm guessing it was probably me being in the booth that gave us 2 runs that inning. So.
That's very possible.
Number 1, Matt Bryant.
So that'll return us to the top of the order here for Matt Bryant as Ashton Renas will strike out.
Quick game we got going here. We started 2 hours late this morning. I'm sure you've told the viewers that at some point. And,
yep.
We're back on time.
I know, that's remarkable.
Yep. I know the first game was 1 hour and 36 minutes. Second game, I think it was 1 hour and 27 minutes, the umpire said. And last game was quick too, and we're moving right along here.
I think the last game was 1:47 or 1 hour 48, something like that. So yeah, we've been cruising through these first 3 games. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Matt Bryant. And Matt Bryant will send a fly ball into left center field, and that will be caught by he did catch it. And that will be the end of the inning. So left fielder Carter Boomsma retires the Fargo Post 400 Stars here in the top of the 4th. After 3.5, it's the Stars 3 and Yankton Post 12-1 here on MSPN Digital Television. We're back in 1 minute.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Hold on.
Mandy's of Fargo, ND is your local online store where you can find something for everyone. Check out multiple items from the carry-all collection. You can also pick out that perfect sign to add to the decor of your family room, kitchen, bedroom, or even your cubicle at work. Be sure to take a peek at the odds and ends, where you will find all the little treasures that are simply too good to miss. Mandy's of Fargo, ND accepts multiple forms of safe and secure payment options. Still not sure what to get? How about a gift card? Visit online at mandysoffargond.com today, where you can find something for everyone.
All right, so we start the bottom of the fourth of the pitcher versus pitcher battle here between Matt Bryant and Beck Reichen, your leadoff batter here. It's the 5-6-7 stretch of the Yankton Post 12 batting lineup here in the home half of the fourth. Reichen 0 for 1, struck out swinging last time he was at the plate. 3-1 our score. Fargo Post 400, 3 runs on 4 hits on 1 Yankton error, and Yankton 1 run on 3 hits on no Stars errors. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one will miss outside, and we're at 2 balls and no strikes here to Beck Reichen, excuse me. Owen Wishon and Tate Bestie will be the other 2 batters we see here for Yankton in this inning. And this is a ground ball towards third that'll drift foul. 2 balls and 1 strike here. BJ, we're talking during the break there. Between our Elkhorn Shakopee and our Grand Rapids West Fargo game, I actually went home because I don't live too far from the field. Fly ball to center field. Coming in and now backpedaling and now standing still is Kane Mathiasen, and he'll make the catch. I had to go home and get a new pair of shoes and a new pair of socks because, as we've mentioned a few times during the first 3 games, we had a lot of rain here due to a thunderstorm last night. And man, I was setting up and helping getting that water out of the outfield. It was like walking through a swamp. And you said that you went barefooted.
Yeah,
is that correct?
I brought 3 pairs of shoes and a couple pairs of socks this morning when I got here to the field, and they lasted about 5 minutes on me, and I'm like, I'm just going to take them off and I'm going to walk barefoot, and just kind of like a pedicure. I mean, it was walking around on the grass when it's wet. It was good, but the best part is we got the water moving, and thanks to Fargo Parks for coming over and bringing some big pumps, and they moved a lot of water very quickly. So, I don't think any of us thought that we'd have been playing games today, based on what it looked like last night at about 11 o'clock. But here we are, getting our 4th game of the day in, and just a team effort by everybody involved.
Ground ball to Colston Sen, over to Wermeyer for the 4-3 ground out for Owen Wishon, and that'll bring up Tate Bestie now, 2 outs on the board. So a 4-3 ground out to second base. I came here around 1:45 in the morning, and a lot of things were underwater here. And our sign that is found at the front gate that says something to the effect of no trespassing, reservations have to be made through Fargo Post 400. Do you know where I found that sign at?
I saw your picture on X,
we'll
call it, instead of Twitter like everyone else does. But I saw your picture there. Where'd you find it at?
Just beyond the first base dugout on that little, by the gate that enters into the field there.
Well, that floated a long ways then.
Yeah, I was shocked because that's a long way for a sign like that to be carried. Either a really dramatic win or somebody snuck in here and tore that side down, but I did not expect to see that. A swing and a miss and a strikeout, and that will actually end the inning. Bottom of the 4th, it seems like when you and Colton and Jake were up here, these innings have just flown by.
And we're good with that, Mike. We're good with that.
It is still 3-1 in favor of Fargo Post 400 after 4 innings of play. We'll be back with more. I'm going to double check the numbers here. What you see is correct. Wow. I've been keeping track during all that. I'm impressed with myself. Usually that's when I don't keep track. We'll take a break. 1 minute. We'll be back with the top of the 5th here on MSPN Digital Television.
Don't miss a stolen base or home run on the road to Shelby. Catch live broadcasts of all 15 games of the Central Plains Regional Tournament from Starion Bank Field in Fargo right here, exclusively on MSPN Digital Television.
Just off 52nd Avenue South in Prairie Grove is your neighborhood South Fargo spot, Frank's Lounge. Frank's Lounge offers a fun, comfortable atmosphere and daily food specials you can view right as you walk in. Kristen says,
Love Frank's, our go-to place when we have company get-togethers, and always get the best service. We would definitely recommend. We love Frank's Lounge.
Frank's Lounge is open daily, and kids, when accompanied by an adult, are welcome all day, Sunday through Tuesday, and until 3:30 p.m. the rest of the week. Don't forget to take home a Frank's Lounge t-shirt or hat. Frank's Lounge, 2640 52nd Avenue South in Fargo. Stop in tonight.
Welcome back. Trudy asking a question, why are the Stars the visitors? Well, Trudy, the answer to that question is every game in this tournament, home and away, is determined by a coin flip. So the host team is not necessarily promised to be the home team on the scoreboard. And that would be the case in any regional tournament, at least all the regional tournaments that I can remember in recent years anyway. Would you agree with that, BJ?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the right way to do it. I mean, these teams that are coming here are either state champs or state runners-up. Well, with the exception of, you know, the Nebraska situation, but that's, you know, neither here nor there. They're all deserving. They all finished in the, you know, the top part of their state, and I think a coin flip's the right way to do it.
A base hit for a single for Kane Mathiasen out into left field brings up Caleb Christensen, who's 2 for 2 with a double to right and a infield single, where that's the play where Tate Bestie, the shortstop, had to make a backhanded throw to first, and Christensen was able to run it out. Now he'll place a bunt down the third base line and a roll foul for strike number 1 here to Caleb Christensen. Gus Wermeyer, Gus Pankratz, the other two batters we'll see this inning. We'll see Wermeyer for sure, possibly Pankratz, depending on what happens with the base runner here for the Stars.
Yeah, you don't see many number 3 batters bunting. And that's the great part, the balance of this post 400 team is pretty much anybody in the lineup can lay down a bunt, and that's the ultimate sacrifice for your team. So
you'll see a lot of bunts with 0 outs on the board and a base runner on, and this one will be in for strike 2, and that will eliminate the bunt. I mean, it doesn't have to eliminate it, but it will more than likely eliminate it.
I once coached with a guy that would always put the bunt on with 2 strikes, and it forces a kid to lay a bunt down, and I don't disagree with it, but, you know, sometimes you got to play the odds too.
And the pitch. And that one's a high fly ball going foul, third base side, and out of play. So we'll stay tight at an 0-2 count here to Caleb Christensen. Once again, he's 2 for 2 with a double and a single. 3-1 on the Mandy's of FargoND.com scoreboard. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Stars. 1 run on 3 hits for Yankton post 12. And this is a ground ball. 1 bouncer to short. Could be a double play. 6, 4, and 3. They got it. 6-4-3 double play. That's Bestie to Wishon over to Sheldon for the pair of outs. And that will put 2 outs on the board, and that will bring up Gus Wermeyer.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate set of runners on, or runner on second with 1 out. We're starting over here with 2 outs.
Well, if there's one thing that we've seen over the 46 games for the Stars this season is they like playing with 2 outs on most occasions. So
yeah, and then on games when they struggle to score runs, you can tell that they're just not there with 2 outs, and it's key to be able to get a couple key hits in a game with 2 outs with runners on base.
0-1 here to Gus Wermeyer. 0 for 1 with a fly out and a hit by a pitch. Here comes the pitch, and it will just miss to the outside. We're even at a ball and a strike now. 55 minutes into the game. Cruising right along here as we're into the top of the 5th, so we're averaging a little over 10 minutes per inning, which is pretty decent. I think I haven't done the mental math on all the games, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if every game was averaging 10 minutes an inning. So if some less than that. 2 balls and a strike. And that's a hard hit ball that'll drop for a base hit in right field. And the Stars have a base runner on with 2 outs.
Gus Wermeyer's been seeing the ball really well since the state tournament, and we went out to Williston last week, and he barreled a lot of balls. Probably doesn't have the base hits to show for it, but he was on the ball, and that would moved him up into the 4 spot in the lineup. So he definitely deserved that one.
Gus Pankratz is the 5 batter here for Fargo Post 400, and he'll face pitch 65 according to my unofficial numbers, and that'll be a force out on second. Pankratz will reach on an inning-ending fielder's choice, and we will go to the bottom of the 5th with your score 3-1 on the Mandy's of FargoND.com scoreboard. Back with more in 60 seconds here on MSPN Digital Television. Stay tuned.
American Legion Baseball. A winning tradition since 1925. Thousands of young athletes have participated, and countless lives have been changed.
That was the fun part of summer ball and Legion was we just played. At that stage, I think everything's so pure. You're just wanting to play ball. I would 100% recommend it.
Legion Baseball is one of many programs of the American Legion, supporting our children, our military, and their families. Find out more about how we continue to serve America.
All right, Evan Sirk, the center fielder, leads it off here for Yankton Post 12 in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And strike 1 tossed by Matt Bryant. I have Matt Bryant at 57 pitches. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong on that.
Well, I mean, you know, depending on who's scoring the game, but I got him at 54 or 56 now. And he's got 37 strikes, and, you know, filling up the strike zone, 55 pitches or what, you know, whatever the number is after 4 innings and a half a batter. That's, you know, 12, 13 pitches an inning. That's all you can ask for from a starting pitcher.
Ground ball to short. Christensen picks it up, fires it over for the 6-3 ground out, and that's a couple of pitches in and out there for Matt Bryant. That's pretty decent efficiency there for your starting pitcher.
Yeah, the last game Matty threw was against West Fargo, the game we beat him out in Williston, and he went 7 innings and only threw 93 pitches. And, you know, that's, again, you need your pitcher to throw strikes. You got to get your defense off the field and let him put it into play.
Carter Boomsma, the batter now here for Yankton. And the pitch is a little bit low and out. Speaking of West Fargo, can you believe that the Stars and Patriots have played 7 times this season? And they have the potential of playing 8 or 9 times if things go the right way in this tournament for those 2 teams.
You know, Mike, if I hadn't been a part of baseball here in the Fargo-Moorhead area for the last, I don't know how many years, I would say that's absurd. But when Caleb was younger and we were, you know, playing Cal Ripken and Babe Ruth, we played West Fargo 7 or 8 times a season because we always ran into them in championship games. We ran into them in state tournaments, regional tournaments, and it's a good rivalry. Sometimes it can get heated. Sometimes, you know, emotions get the best of people. But at the end of the day, I think the kids all have respect for each other, and they do a really good job.
Batter now is Samuel Golke. 1 for 2, single and a ground out so far here in the contest. As Yankton looking to string together a couple of runs. They already have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And the 1-0 pitch from Bryant, ground ball, couple hops over towards Christensen at short. 6-3 ends the bottom of the 5th. A 1-2-3 inning for the Stars on Yankton as we hit the 1-hour mark of the ball game here. And we are cruising right along as we go into the top of the 6th inning in 1 minute here on MSPN Digital Television.
TCI Insurance was founded in 1985 with a simple mission in mind: to protect your assets. TCI Insurance has a long history of providing insurance coverage and loss prevention solutions to the region and strives to exceed your expectations. From agriculture, business, and personal insurance, our advisors are here to help walk you through the options and equip you with the knowledge you need to choose the coverage that will best suit your current stage of life. TCI Insurance. Call 701-277-1710 or visit them at the offices in West Fargo and Wimbledon. Learn more today at tciteam.com.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Hold on.
Moving right along into the top of the 6th. 1 hour and 1 minute since first pitch in the top of the first. And the leadoff batter here is Colston Sen. It's the 6-7-8 stretch of the Fargo Post 400 Stars batting lineup.
I like Colston moving into the 6th spot here. He's not an everyday player, but when he gets in the game, obviously he delivers. He's got a .436 batting average on the season, and earned everything that he's gotten. So great spot in the 6th spot here.
Colston Sen is an equal opportunity outfield hitter, and what I mean by that, for those who don't watch us regularly, when you look at spray charts, he doesn't have a particular part of the outfield that he hits it to. He just hits it. And that will drop for a base hit into shallow center field in front of Evan Sirk. And there's another hit for Colston Sen and a runner on here with Gunnar Majerus coming to the plate.
Yep, Colston just continuing to deliver, and that's ultimate teammate from what I hear from the boys. So nice job to Coley there.
So runner on first, and Gunnar Majerus 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts, 1 to center, 1 to right. He'll show bunt here. The pitch will come across for a strike. It's 0-1. Caleb Blanchette is on deck, and we'll see him for sure this inning. We'll see if we get to Ashton Renas or not, though.
We're gonna get to Ashton this inning, Mike.
You okay?
I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
Nice, I like that. I'll bet you a hamburger from our concession stand.
Oh, I can't keep up with you with the burgers. I don't know if I can afford to feed you burgers.
Considering that, well, more on that in a little bit here. And that's a fly ball fouled away.
I will say this. I know you ranked the Williston burger as the #1 burger in the state, and it's a good burger. Don't get me wrong. I waited for a lot longer than a Post 400 burger. A little more expensive. Worth the money. Don't get me wrong. Good burger. But I got to put them neck and neck just for, we're looking at a McDonald's burger versus maybe a Hardee's burger, I guess.
Yeah, and even the prices would be similar in that comparison too. Yeah,
100%.
So a couple of shout outs there to some non-sponsors, but that's okay. We'll give them that free shout out. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and he got a piece of it, fouled it back. We'll stay tight at 2-2 here. Once again, the runner on first is Colston Sen. 4,100 viewers through the first 3 games of the tournament. I haven't checked numbers on this game yet, but that's a pretty impressive number.
Is that the most all-time, Mike?
It might be.
No pitch. A balk has been called.
So a balk called on Beck Ryan. That moves Colston Sen to second. The pitch did not occur, so the count remains 2-2.
I wasn't watching on that one, but
and that's strike 3.
Been a lot of balks in the last few games that the Stars have played.
Yeah, absolutely they have. Caleb Blanchette's 0 for 2. Struck out swinging. A low fly out to the first baseman last time he was up. Reichen will take a look at Sen on second, deliver the pitch just a little bit high for a ball, 1-0. Hamburger is on the line if no double play occurs. We'll see Ashton Renas next. 1 ball and no strike. And this one's going to be popped up. And it's caught there by Reichen. Right about 30% down the first base line for out number 2.
Not a double play, but I feel like a double play there had been a hard hit ball there. So
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Maybe that would have been more agreeable to this dad broadcaster.
Well, it looks like I owe you a hamburger. Here's Ashton Renas with 2 away and a runner on second. And that one is fouled away. First base side and out of play, strike 1.
Let's see if Ashley can have a little bit of 2-out magic here and put a ball down in the grass in the outfield, and Colston can wheel around, obviously going on the hit, and score our 4th run of the game.
Well, he did strike out swinging last time, but the time before that, he hit a deep double under the fence in right center field. He'll take a strike here, and it's 0-2 now here to Ashton Renas. Matt Bryant would flip us back to the top of the order if Renas can find a way to reach base. The 0-2. And that one comes off home plate and then off the left shoulder of Ashton Renas, and it'll be foul and we'll stay at 0-2. 4 more games tomorrow, bright and early, starting at 9:30 and noon for our 2 elimination games, and then 3:30 and 6:30 for the winners brackets games.
Yeah, our field of 8 goes down to 6 after tomorrow.
Absolutely, yep. 2 will be gone after tomorrow. Ooh, that one snuck through the netting and landed on the first base side there. Little youngster will run over and be disappointed to see that the other guy is going to keep that souvenir. Here's the 0-2. Outside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I followed the state tournaments a little bit for obviously North Dakota and South Dakota, Nebraska, and Minnesota, and you know, Yankton entered the tournament as the number 2 seed and came up as the runner-up, and while Harrisburg entered as a 7th seed and won the tournament. So, you know, anything can happen in the game of baseball.
Yeah, it seems like the 7th seed is the good luck charm, especially in North Dakota. We'll talk more about that in just a moment here. We go to the bottom of the 6th right after this 1-minute break.
Sweet Shots is Fargo's premier golf entertainment destination. Sweet Shots will host your birthday, bachelorette party, corporate events, date nights, or a night out with friends and family. Need help with your golf game? Visit with one of Sweet Shots' PGA teaching pros. Hungry? They have a full food and beverage menu too. Try your shot in one of 60 climate-controlled hitting suites or one of 5 indoor full-swing simulators that include golf, hockey, hunting, football, soccer, and zombie dodgeball. Make the trip to 3400 James Way South in Fargo or visit sweetshots.com for much more.
Don't miss a stolen base or home run on the road to Shelby. Catch live broadcasts of all 15 games of the Central Plains Regional Tournament from Starion Bank Field in Fargo right here, exclusively on MSPN Digital Television.
All right, welcome back. Matt Bryant into his 6th inning of work. First pitch will miss for a ball. Matt Sheldon's the batter here for Yankton. And a strike is taken there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sheldon's 1 for 1, a double and a walk so far here. And now his 3rd trip to the plate. He'll swing and miss there for strike 2.
Matt's at 67 pitches so far through. Again, a half a batter into the bottom of the 6th inning.
That's not a bad number to be at through 6 innings of play. That one will just miss. And a few oohs and ahs from people in attendance here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 from Bryant. Got it in there for strike 3, and he strikes him out looking. That puts the first out on the board. And brings up Easton Fieser.
Similar pitch location on that one. Batter didn't agree with the strike call, but I think with 2 strikes, you can't look at that same pitch twice.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely. And that's, Matt Bryant is really good at placing pitches in the same spot on multiple occasions. Like, he just threw a ball there on the outside edge. He could do the outside edge again and hit the edge of the strike zone. And he will go not quite down the middle, but almost down the middle there for strike 1. We now moved to a 1 ball, 1 strike count here against Easton Fieser. 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out.
Good curveball slider there that off speed, that had a little movement, caught the outside edge of the plate.
And that one's a little bit low for ball 2 here.
Yeah, hoping to have him chase one there. That's fine. That's you got a couple pitches to waste here, and no sense in throwing it down the tube and letting him hit it.
2-2 on the way. That one made Feezer dance at the plate a little bit there. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A full count now here to Easton Feezer, and a payoff pitch from Matt Bryant. And here it comes. Swung on a ground ball directly to first, and somehow it took an awkward bounce and got past Gus Wermeyer into right field. And will they do that as a hit or an error?
Yeah, you don't see too many balls bounce like that off the turf. It probably had a little bit of topspin on it, and when it hit the ground, it went right over the head of Gus Wermeyer.
They will record it as a hit.
As would I have.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Took them a while to put the pitch up there, or the hit up there, I should say.
Well, we'll just look to roll a ground ball here and get out of this. Middle infielders, third base. We could turn a double play anywhere in the infield.
Inside pitch for a ball. The batter's Gavin Johnson reached on a fielder's choice last time he was at the plate. Pitch 77 from Matt Bryant, and that's a little high for ball 2. 25 balls, 52 strikes on 77 tosses. Not a bad ball strike split, but speaking of pitching coaches, here comes Coach Fichtner for the Stars as he will make a trip to the mound to have a chit-chat. What do you think here? Just some strategy talk?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's that. I think it's just come out there and, just calm everybody down and say, hey, we're in the driver's seat here, and keep doing what you've been doing. Throw strikes, fill up the strike zone, and, you got defense behind you. Let them get you out of it.
Yeah, nice little pep talk sometimes does the trick. You see videos online of coaches making visits to the mound to say nothing more than tell a joke. And
well, did you see the Little League game yesterday with the coach from, I don't even know where he is from, somewhere out west, but he came out there and just told a really good joke, and it's a typical dad joke, but the kids just laughed. And
yeah.
There's some coaches that I've been around that I'd like them to adopt, kind of the same mantra, but some of them come out there and just say nothing, and that's fine too. I guess it works.
2-0 pitch and a ground ball, bouncing towards short. Christensen will pick it up, and it's going to be an error as Gus Wermeyer tried to pick it, and he wasn't able to pick it. I believe they'll charge that as a throwing error to the shortstop.
Yeah, throwing error. CeCe had to come across that ball and throw across his body and, rushed it a little bit. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, Gus picks that one up, and this time it just didn't work out. So now the boys got a little bit of work to do after starting the inning with an out and no runners on base, and now we got runners on second and third with still 1 out.
Yeah, 2 runners in scoring position, a base hit. We're going to have a tie ball game here. It's Beck Reichen. He's won the battle against Matt Bryant once, and he lost the battle against Matt Bryant his most recent time up. We'll see who wins the rubber match, as this, for lack of, unless barring a 2-run base hit here, could potentially be the last time we see Beck Reichen batting in this game. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Matt Bryant, and it goes right back to Matt. He'll look the runner back to third and fire over to first for the second out. Back to second, they'll tag him out, and that's the second out. It's a double play. The run will not score. They take 2 runners off base, and it remains a 3-1 game here going into the top of the 7th.
Now that was a good heads-up play by Gus Wermeyer there to throw that ball over, and not a good heads-up play by the runner on second to kind of run himself into a double play.
After committing an error, the Stars redeem themselves with a double play to end the inning. It's 3-1 after 5.5, and we're back, or after 6, I should say, and we're back with more in a moment here on MSPN Digital Television. Stay tuned.
Make your home your retreat. Fill your favorite spaces with fresh air, warm sunlight, and calming connections with the outdoors. Marvin Windows and Doors are designed to promote happier, healthier spaces in your home. At D&M Industries, we will walk you through how the beauty, thoughtful design features, and unparalleled performance of Marvin products can help you feel better in your home. Visit our D&M Industries showroom in Moorhead today.
Here's your chance to support MSPN Digital Television in one of 3 ways. First, everyone can subscribe to the MSPN YouTube channel absolutely free. Second, individuals and families can choose one of 3 monthly YouTube memberships. Third, local businesses can choose one of 2 monthly YouTube sponsorships. Visit our YouTube channel and look for and click the Join button to select the option that's best for you. For more information, or to get answers to your questions about MSPN memberships and sponsorships, give us a call today at 701-491-6776.
All right, welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. We're an hour and 17 minutes in. BJ, whenever you're up here, it seems like these games, this might be the fastest of all the games you've done with me.
This is the fastest of the games today so far, so we're gonna cross our fingers that it continues that way in this, hopefully what is the final inning of the night.
Matt Bryant is 0 for 2 against Beck Reichen. He was walked by Reichen the first time. The last 2 times, he had a couple of flyouts to left, shallow left. And that first, sorry about that.
No, I was just going to say, let's go back to that mound visit by Coach Fichtner, and, didn't say anything much. He wasn't out there that long, and, the next play resulted in an error, but obviously calmed Matt Bryant down on the mound, and he was able to throw an off-speed pitch that the pitcher just got a little blooper, I guess you call it, for lack of a better term. A swinging bunt to the pitcher, and they got out of the inning. So sometimes that's all it takes, is just to take these kids' minds off of what's going on in the game.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to Matt Bryant as he fouled that last pitch away. Ball, strike, foul in that order. And now a 1-2 pitch coming up here for Beck Reichen. And a ground ball out towards first base. It'll be a direct ground out to Sheldon as he'll pick up the ball and step on the bag, and that'll be out number 1, and that'll bring up Kane Mathiasen now.
Center fielder number 3, Kane Mathiasen.
Kane Mathiasen's 1 for 3 with a pair of ground outs. 1 to third, 1 to second. Then he singled into left center field last time he was up. 3-1 ball game, and he'll lay down a bunt. And he's going to bunt for a hit. He might run that out, and he does.
Great bunt, Kane.
You don't normally see a bunt with nobody on base, but this time he did, and it's, sometimes you got to play those cards. When the defense is not going to expect that to happen, the coach called the play, and that's a coaching decision that you saw on the rollout on that play right there.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even know if that was Coach Bryant's call. Kane does a really good job of reading where the third baseman is and laying down the bunt if he feels like the third baseman's playing too far back. And honestly, as a third baseman, I'd probably be playing back on that one too with 1 out and your number 2 hitter up.
And that one's into the backstop, which will allow the runner to move to second.
Well, now we got the Yankton coach out, probably to do the same thing that Coach Fichtner did. We're not at pitch count yet. Or are we?
I'll let you check the numbers on that.
97, he's going to let him go.
That's what I had too, 97 pitches here for Beck Reichen. 28 balls, 69 strikes, and he's going to be done, and they'll bring in a new pitcher. We'll take a break and tell you who the new pitcher is here in 30 seconds. Stay tuned.
TCI Insurance was founded in 1985 with a simple mission in mind: to protect your assets. TCI Insurance has a long history of providing insurance coverage and loss prevention solutions to the region and strives to exceed your expectations. From agriculture, business, and personal insurance, our advisors are here to help walk you through the options and equip you with the knowledge you need to choose the coverage that will best suit your current stage of life. TCI Insurance. Call 701-277.
All right. First pitch, or the additional pitch here to Kane Mathiasen after the pitching change comes in for ball 3. Never did catch a jersey number during that commercial break. Looks like it is number, I can't see it, number 2. So that would be, it's still Beck Reichen then. I thought he was pulled.
No, didn't see anybody changed on that one. I think it was just a quick chat at the mound.
Okay, well, my apologies there. I thought we were having a pitching change, and I was wrong. So it'll be a walk to Kane Mathiasen. And now the coach will come out and pull him because I have him at 100 pitches, and he could face Gus Wehrmeyer if that pitch count is accurate. But after walking the batter, after having the coach just out there, they will indeed pull Beck Reichen. And now we will for sure have a pitching change.
And I got Beck Reichen listed as a second baseman, so I would imagine he'd probably go into second base, and there's a little bit of movement around here.
Looks like we have Tate Bestie going into the outfield to play left. So that would suggest that maybe the left fielder is now pitching?
No, number 9.
Number 9.
Boston Frick.
Okay.
What a great first name.
Yeah, right? Boston Frick will be your new pitcher here for Yankton post 12.
Probably, unless you're like a Yankees fan, like our post 400 president, Jeff Gould. He's probably not a big fan of Boston's first name.
I'm not. As far as sports go, I'm a hockey fan, and Boston wouldn't be at the top of my hockey team list, but I have no problem with a player having the first name of that, so don't want to expand too far on that one there.
Well, I'm a hockey fan too, Mike, and I know you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, and back in the day when Joe Sakic played and Peter Forsberg, I was an Avs fan myself.
Interesting. I did not know that about you until just now. So.
Well, you got to share one fun fact about each other each broadcast, do we not?
Yeah, I say next broadcast I'll figure out something else to share. So, although I think most people knew that I was an Avs fan, but I don't think anybody knew that about you until just now.
Well, I grew up a Minnesota kid, and it's really difficult to be a Minnesota sports fan, as evident by the roster moves that the Twins made in the last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
But, was a North Stars fan before the Norm Green debacle, which anybody that's there's a word that comes before Norm Green up amongst the Minnesota sports lore, but I won't repeat that here on the air.
Fair enough, and I'm glad you won't. So we have a new shortstop, too. No jersey numbers on the front of the players. We'll find out who that is momentarily here for you. And the first pitch from Boston Frick is on the outside for a ball. 1-0 here to Caleb Christensen, who's 2 for 3 with a double single and a ground out. Want to say hi to Jim. I know he chimed in on the chat a while ago and has chimed in on a chat a few times since then. Jim, one of our #1 viewers here on MSPN Digital Television. Probably tuned into every, maybe 99% of every Stars games we broadcasted, and during the rest of the year, he's tuned into plenty of football and basketball games that we broadcasted here on MSPN as well.
Yeah, it's Jim's. I think he's been on every broadcast I've seen, and even the broadcasts where I'm at home and you're on the road, and I have to comment and say hi to you, and Jim's always there.
Yeah, Jim's always there unless he has a commitment, and he always lets me know when he's not going to be here, which I think is kind of cool. Runner will take off for third. The throw up to third will not be in time.
Great jump by Kane Mathiasen. He read movement as soon as that pitcher moved his front foot, and he was off. And now we got 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out.
And that'll be ball 4, and that'll be a walk. And I'll load the bases here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars, bringing up Gus Pankratz.
Well, good opportunity here for the Stars to blow this game open. You got your number 5 hitter up. It's got a lot of power, and hopefully he just puts it out there and we get an insurance run home. But I take an extra base hit here too, Mike.
No balls and 1 strike. It's Boston Frick faces batter number 2 since coming in to the game. And the 0-1 pitch. And that will miss for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count now here. Once again, Kane Mathiasen on third, Caleb Christensen on second, Gus Wermeyer on first. The runners on here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And fouled away, first base side and out of play. Number of people on site here at Starion Bank Field and taking in this 4th and final game with the sun finally dipping behind the clouds as it was shining bright for the first 3 games.
Well, I'll say this. James let us know that Riken went to short. Bestie, I'm going to get that in. Yeah, Bestie to left and Boomsma out of the game. So.
And a sacrifice fly will score Kane Mathiasen and advance Christensen to third. They'll put runners on the corners and give the Stars a 5-1 lead. Mathiasen scores, Christensen to third. Colston Sen now with 2 away. Stars with a run in the first, the 2 runs in the third, and 1 so far here in the 7th. The lone run scored by Yankton was in the bottom of the first inning. 1 hour and 27 minutes time of the game now.
Mike, another little known fact about me is my favorite offensive situation is runners on first and third. Gus Wehrmeyer not known for his running, but he does have 4 stolen bases on the year. So if we can get maybe get him over and a couple other runners in scoring position, would be good shape.
0-1 here to Colston Sen. And Sen goes to center field. And that is caught for out number 3. So they'll strand the 2 runners on base, and the Stars will take a 4-1 lead into the bottom of the 7th. The Stars are 3 outs away from facing Shakopee tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. We'll see if Yankton can pull off a 3 or 4 run walk-off here in the bottom of the 7th when we return after this. Stay tuned.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
Owen with Sean, Tate Bestie, and Evan Shirk. 6, 7, and 8 batters, and Yankton needs at least 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Swinging and a miss, strike 1. Matt Bryant trying to finish this one out. That was pitch 81 for Matt Bryant, so he's officially out for 4 days of rest. Depending on how many more pitches he throws, he could potentially come back on Sunday if the Stars are still in the tournament on Sunday.
Nope. 80 pitches, they had to pull him out in order for him. You need 3 days rest, so you got Thursday, Friday, Saturday would be the 3rd day of rest, and Sunday he could come back.
Yep, and I think that's what I just said, wasn't it? I don't know, maybe not.
I'm not going to argue with you, Mike.
Okay.
You probably said the right thing. I probably said the right thing, and we just...
and we just didn't hear each other. Gotcha.
Yep.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count now here to Owen Wishon. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. And the 2-2 pitch from Bryant. Ooh, I thought that was a strikeout, but I guess not. Ball 3. And a swing and a miss for a strikeout. 0-1.
Left fielder number 25, Tate Bestie.
So Bryant retires 1 on a swing and miss, and now Tate Bestie 0 for 2. And the first pitch is low and out for a ball. 1-0 here to Tate Bestie. Evan Sirk is the batter on deck. We'll see Sirk for sure. We'll see how much farther into the Yankton lineup we get here in the bottom of the 7th. As
I'm going to bet another cheeseburger. We're only going 2 more.
Okay, we'll find out. Call it double or nothing. 3 balls and no strikes here. And the 3-0 pitch. And that will walk him on 4 pitches. That's the first or second walk of the game. Let me double check the stats here.
Second walk.
Second walk.
Probably shouldn't have made that bet, but we still got a chance to roll one here up the middle and turn 2 and get out of this.
Evan Shirk 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts, 1 to third, 1 to the shortstop.
We would take another one to the shortstop.
And Stars fans would agree with you there. 4-1 is our score, and that's a high fly ball foul to the left side of home plate.
I forget now, MSPN is regional, and we have fans tuning in from South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota. So
yes.
I should probably be a little more impartial.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I can handle the impartialness for both of us if I have to. So, and on the outside edge, a strike is called, and it is now 0-2 here to Evan Shirk.
But I will say this, working here all day, all the teams coming in, players from every team have been cordial. They've been, well, let's see how this goes. Oh, that's a tough one.
That took a weird hop off the pitcher's mound. And as a result of that weird hop, Caleb Christensen wasn't able to field it and get it over to first. They're actually going to charge it as an error. I'd have to look at the video again on initial. I'm not sure if I agree with the error call there, but
I think they gave him a hit, Mike. They got 5 hits on the board now, and I don't know if someone running Game Changer or scored it as an error, but it definitely was a hit.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That error came earlier in the game. So you're right. It was a hit. And they just moved it from 7 to 8 on the hit category. So I agree with that call now that it's a hit. Initially, I thought they recorded it as an error. But first and second here for Yankton. And that means Carter Boomsma represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 7th.
And less importantly, I lost the cheeseburger.
Tate Basti on second, Evan Cirk on first. The runner's on here for Yankton post 12. No balls and 2 strikes.
But to finish my earlier thought, you know, I kind of work the gate for the players come in or they get dropped off by the bus. And again, every team been really, really cordial, complimentary. Thank you, please, the whole 9 yards. So, you know, these teams have done a great job with their kids on making them good human beings.
1 ball and 2 strikes. A big opportunity here for Yankton. Base hit could pull them within a couple. Carter Boomsma. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matt Bryant delivers. And a fly ball out into right center field, and it will drop for a hit. And it looked like Gus Pankratz was going to think about diving for that one. Then he changed his mind, and that was a smart play because if he would have dived and missed, it would be a 4-2 ball game right now.
Yeah, smart play by Gus out there in right field, not diving, taking the chance, and knowing you got a couple runs and outs to work with. No sense in trying to be a hero right now.
All right, so Chase Gooley is the runner on first for Boomsma, and now Coach Fichtner's coming out to the mound to have a chat here with Matt Bryant. We'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back with the potential finish right after this.
Mandy's of Fargo, ND is your local online store where you can find something for everyone. Check out multiple items from the carry-all collection. You can also pick out that perfect sign to add to the decor of your family room, kitchen, bedroom, or even your cubicle at work. Be sure to take a peek at the odds and ends, where you will find all the little treasures that are simply too good to miss. Mandy's of Fargo, ND accepts multiple forms of safe and secure payment options. Still not sure what to get? How about a gift card? Visit online at mandysoffargond.com today, where you can find something for everyone.
All right, so new pitcher on the mound here is Hudson Stein. Matt Bryant finishes the day with 97 pitches, 33 balls, 64 strikes. He's responsible for the 3 runs on base should they come around and score. Bryant has 6 1/3 innings of work, faced 26 batters, 6 1/3. Faced 26 batters, 33 balls, 65 strikes on 98 pitches, I guess. 1 error committed, or 1 earned run, not an error. Struck out 5, 3 looking, 2 swinging, allowed 6 hits, walked 2 batters. And that is your stat line so far. Just can't quite close the book on Matt Bryant just yet, as I mentioned. He's responsible for the 3 runners on base should any or all of them come across and score here. And Hudson Stein will finish his warm-up pitches and see if he can grab the final couple outs here for the Fargo Post 400 Stars. Yankton threatening. Fargo Post 400 has played a lot of extra inning baseball games here, and the last thing you want to do is get yourself into another extra innings baseball game after playing, let's see here, 23 innings of baseball in the final 4 games of the state tournament, if I did the mental math on that correctly.
Yeah, that's more math than I want to do right now, Mike. But I'll take your word for it. And you got to get your teammates off the field here and get them home, good night's sleep, and come back and be ready to play again tomorrow.
4-1 is our score. The tying run is on first base. If Golke hits a grand slam, it's game over. And that one will miss for ball 1 here. 1 run on 6 hits here for Yankton. And they are threatening here in the bottom of the 7th. And a ground ball to third. And he'll step on the bag at third for the force out and go over and get the double play. It is a 5-3 double play to end the game, and the Fargo Post 400 Stars survive a scare from Yankton in the bottom of the 7th. And they win the game by the final score of 4-1. A great game here for both of these teams, as Yankton really put the pressure on the Stars there in the bottom of the 7th. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, anytime you got bases loaded with 1 out and you're bringing in a new pitcher, all the pressure's on that pitcher to throw strikes. And Huddy missed on the first one and came back with a strike and got a slow roller to third base that Ashton Arenas was able to step on the base and throw it over to first. And throw was a little down the line, and it's if there's a first baseman I do not want to run into, it's Gus Wehrmeyer.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. All right, now the numbers you see on your screen are correct. There only 1 error per side. 4 runs on 8 hits for the Stars on 1 post 12 error, and they left 5 on base. For post 12, we'll add the 3 on base here that they left in the bottom of the 7th. And they have 1 run on 6 hits on 1 error for the Stars, and they left 5 on base as well. 1 hour and 40 minutes, time of the ball game. That wraps up day 1 of the 2025 Central Plains Regional Tournament. Certainly hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We got 4 more games for you tomorrow. Here's the lineup. Harrisburg will take on Grand Rapids in an elimination game at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Elkhorn North will play Yankton Post 12 in the 12 noon elimination game tomorrow. And then at 3:30 p.m., it'll be Lincoln taking on the West Fargo Patriots. And at 6:30, it'll be Shakopee taking on Fargo Post 400. BJ, before we wrap things up here, your final thoughts on this game and your initial thoughts on tomorrow's game for the Stars versus Shakopee.
I mean, Post 400 did what they had to do tonight. They sprayed 8 hits around the field, got 4 runs in it, and that's something they've been struggling with the last couple games is scoring some runs and putting the ball into play and getting it down for base hits. But You know, the Yankton team didn't do anything really wrong. You know, 1 error, a couple walks, same as us, and we just had better timely hitting.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that'll do it for this broadcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will talk to you again tomorrow here on MSPN Digital Television.
The proceeding has been a copyrighted presentation of MSPN Digital Television. Follow us online by searching MSPNDTV on YouTube and X to find broadcast schedules, on-demand broadcasts, and more. Thanks for watching MSPN Digital Television.